What's good, YouTube? It's Coffee tapping back in, man. And this is an interesting uh, perspective, quote, clip circulating here. Alan Hughes of the Hughes brothers, legendary director, had something to say about Pocket Snoop. I don't know if y'all heard this. We got to discuss this. Hit the comments.
And, right, you got a guy that was the rock star of that era. And in the same era, he's on trial for murder. And thank God beats the case. And then you got all that little window where Snoop dimmed his light for Tupac. I never understood that back then. Like, I remember Snoop just dimming his light and letting Tupac shine when Snoop was the guy, you know?
So you heard him. Snoop was on top of the world. I mean, doggy style, the dog father. A debut in music as to the likes, I don't want to say we never seen, but there's some artists that had really just iconic, unbelievable rollouts for their albums and the way that the sales went and all that. Kind of like, just to throw one out there, 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying, and the story that came before that. And, that's a whole another discussion, which, I've spoke about from time to time, and we definitely should speak more on it, but just throwing that out there as an example. Like, Snoop was next level. And it's wild too, as I try to line these timelines up, as I just kind of brought this to y'all on the fly to see what the people think about it. So I was trying to get like the release dates in the discographies, but they really just break it down more by year rather than exact date, which can be found. But again, I'm bringing this on the fly. And what do you guys think of that statement? Is that indeed true? And also, real quick, isn't this the Hughes brothers, as Hughes brother of the two, that, there was a controversy and a discussion going down as back, wasn't it Menace, when Pac and the Hughes brothers had the incident as he was supposed to be cast in the movie, and they kind of went in another direction, shall we say, and Pac, and it ended up getting physical and everything. And there's been some other stuff he said about Pac shaving his head in the midst of, I guess we say, identity crisis or mental breakdown. Is the clip that came out, in the way in which I believe it's Alan Hughes painted. This was going back viral, as what I'm getting at, not too long ago, as I believe, is it the Dear Mama stuff that came out on Hulu? I think, because that's the most recent Tupac content. There's been so many docu-series, documentaries, obviously the movie. There's just been a lot of stuff put out about Pac. And I believe Alan Hughes was the dude who was putting the most recent one together. And I believe it was the Dear Mama one. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. And a lot of Pac fans were like, yo, if Pac were alive, he would have never wanted it this way. And I myself kind of took that viewpoint. But I've been hearing people saying like, nah, man, he put together some great content. Like, that series is fire. I still haven't watched it. So let me know what you guys think about that. But getting back to what he's talking about here, do you think this is indeed facts? Did Snoop Dogg take a backseat to Tupac after he was signed to death row? I mean, obviously we know there was tensions between these dudes, the whole plane ride situation, and from my understanding, even up to when Tupac died, R.I.P., to Tupac once again, they had never squashed their issue, and then recently there was a clip that came out where Warren G talked about, he, in a sense, he felt saved Snoop Dogg from going out there to Vegas to watch the fight, and in the movie, when we see that whole scene highlighted after that plane ride or whatever, Snoop says something about going to Vegas for the fight, and Pac kind of gives him the cold shoulder, and Warren G recently told the tale. I'll try to find that link and pin it below. I just recently did a video on it. Warren G spoke on it on his recent episode on Drink Champs, where he was saying Snoop was going to go anyways. And Warren G said, no, come to the crib and let's cook out and watch the fight or whatever. And he says Snoop ended up doing that, but word has always said that Snoop made his way to the hospital to go see Pac in his, final moments, final days and everything. But at that point, I believe Tupac was incapacitated and not conscious, so they never squashed what issue they had. But I don't know, does that sound accurate? I want to read this one comment that someone left that I found very, I feel like they broke it down pretty well. This is Lawrence Eugene, I believe his name is, on the gram. Said, without a doubt, Snoop was the man of the moment in that period he's speaking of. Once his trial came up, I remember a period where he definitely had lost visibility, sort of, as far as current music. His album was monstrous. Murder Was the Case soundtrack, Dog Pound's album. Snoop's impact could never be denied. Tupac was grinding during that period. I don't think Snoop dimmed his own light, though. Looking back, he seemed to be a team player when you look at footage from the era. It seems like now everybody wants to revise history, though, and make it what it wasn't, in like an attempt to shit on Pac. Snoop seemed pretty selfless. Look back on it, he seemed secure with himself and own impact. Comparatives are in most cases unjust and unnecessary. Tupac did his work and worked up his monstrous success also. Me Against the World was huge, and it carried over to All Eyes on Me. They both were huge success in that space and time. I think these two facts can be true at the same time, but in my humble opinion, they are a lot. There are a lot of people sneak dissing Pac. He's gone, y'all. So again, that was Lawrence Eugene is the guy's name on the gram. I like the way he summed it up. I mean, as far as with the timelines and stuff. I mean, he definitely was giving his opinion as well. But I don't know. Like, comment. I want to know what you guys think about this across the board. As always, that's how we rock on this channel if you're new. So make sure to subscribe and hit them comments hard. We talk music, sports, current events, all that. But what he said about being a team player, we've seen with labels at times, like the label may want a label made to, hey, let's not go head to head as far as when we drop certain albums, like another example, 50 Cent in the Game, 50 Cent's second album, The Massacre, got pushed back. I believe it was originally intended to be released on, the St. Valentine's Day Massacre date. You know what I mean? So Game could drop, and it can get tricky with labels sometimes, like wanting to keep a guy's good momentum going and shift dates around with other label mates, and at the same time try to keep their momentum going but not go head to head. I remember a couple years back, it was really odd. Max B, who's supposed to touch down and come home soon, dropped the album while locked up, and it was crazy because French Montana dropped his project on the same day, which they fluck with each other. And it was odd. It was like, why would you go head to head with the Wave God? He's behind the prison wall. Let him get his shine on that day. But then again, nowadays, it's still kind of bizarre. But then nowadays, in this current climate of music, like, album releases aren't what they used to be, with streaming and the way things work differently, and the formulas of converting streams into sales, which the original formula has now been tweaked as well. Like, it's just all so different. But I miss that era too. Comment and let me know if you miss that era where we would get a single before the album dropped, through the different publications that cover the music. We would get previews and glimpses into the projects coming out. The videos would come out. Later, the album would drop. They would do different things to commemorate those albums. They might secure different slots on BET and MTV to have specials highlighting the album release and what the album's about and entails. And they would go on a promo run and stuff like that. Like, those days are pretty much over. for the most part. And then when you got the albums, you would look in the CD booklet and read all the messages and everything, and then also see what albums were set to be coming soon from different labels and stuff like that, and the label mates. You know what I mean? It is just a different era, a different time, and music will probably never really be the same, but that nostalgia of that era really takes me back, and I kind of miss it. But getting back to this discussion, what do you guys think? Did Snoop take the back seat for Pac to get his shine on? If he did he do so like what we were speaking of as the label having him do it? Um, you know, did do you believe if this indeed happened, do you believe that was part of what could have soured their relationship? What's your thoughts about this all? Let's chop it up in the comments. Thanks for watching. It's Coffee. I'm up out here, y'all. Don't forget to subscribe. And again, let's chop it up in them comments, y'all. I'm gone. Peace.